What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Willie the Kid, and I'm back with another one, man. This is Eastwick Boxing Talk in association with Three Kings Boxing, and we are the movement, and I have some of the movement with me right now, motherfuckers. Uh, this is Sunday morning's trainer. It's a little show we do to recap all the fights and shit that happened over the weekend. I got my man 2K on. How you doing, fam?
Oh man, such hostility.
My man C-Bone Henderson.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, man? I like doing on these dang old shows, man, these dang old shows on Sundays, man.
Boomhauer. My boy from the second half on Truth and Facts about boxing, man. But no, how you feeling?
I'm feeling real good. How y'all feeling today, fellas?
And one of our behind the scenes cats, man. What's going on, Mr. Blake, aka Jordan?
Hey, what's going on, man? How y'all doing?
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm cool.
H-Ton.
I'm going
H-Ton.
I'm going down, child.
All right, so we're going to get into it right away, man. We're going to talk about Raimundo Beltran finally getting his hand on some gold, man. Let's start with C. I'm going to start with you on this fight, man, because I know this was a very exciting moment for you personally.
Why the fuck would I be excited about it?
Because me and you love Beltran.
I do like Beltran, man. I hope Bob takes his green card out of his desk finally now. I really do. He's held that motherfucker hostage for about 5 fights now.
Yeah, I think that motherfucker got in the safe and shit. Like I ain't giving it to you.
Yeah, I hope he takes it out of the fucking safe or his desk drawer, wherever he had it. Now it says, "Here, bro, you finally fucking earned it." Now he might hold it until he agrees to fight Lomachenko on May the 12th. But seeing as he only got a 60-day suspension, medical suspension for this past weekend for the cut, so he could come back May the 12th theoretically. So we might be waiting on that before he gets it, but I just hope he gets the son of a bitch. They've been selling this same thing now since, I know 2015. And here we are in 2018, and the man still hasn't got his green card. Ain't lost the fucking fight, so I'm kind of puzzled by it. But he, I think he, as far as the fight goes, he found out that Moses was a little tougher than what he was expecting, I believe. So did Aaron. And I did have Beltran winning the fight, but it was a pretty good fight.
It was a good fight. 2K, I want to say from a standpoint where, like, there's guys that get their shots, man, and then there's guys that deserve their shots and earn their shots and shit. Will you put Beltran as one of those guys that's pretty much earned anything and everything he's gotten in the ring?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're talking about a guy who has emerged from being a glorified sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao into, being put in the depths, the pits, basically, fighting guys like Terrence Crawford, Ricky Burns. He's fought everybody under the sun pretty much, man, down at the 135-pound division. So given his track record and given what he's done for the sport of boxing, yeah, absolutely. His time is now. I agree.
Yeah. Bernard?
Yo.
You want to touch up on Ray?
No, I agree with everybody on the panel. What they said, I agree with Chris and 2K.
All right. Blake?
Yeah, I agree. Good.
The thing with I'm gonna expand a little bit on what C said about Bob Arum underestimating Paulus Moses, and this is something that we talked about. I don't remember whose platform it was, and we got so many of them, but we talked about how Paulus Moses is not going to be a guy that Beltran he won't be running over. I mean, when you look at Paulus Moses, man, I mean, he's lost a pretty stiff competition his entire career. You know what I'm saying? He was knocked out one time, I think back in like 2009 or something like that, to Miguel Acosta, who at that time was one of the better fighters in the division. You know what I'm saying? And, he's lost to guys like Malcolm Klassen, who was a very good fighter, former champion. I mean, he's always been one of those good fighters. He also lost to Ricky Burns. So just looking at the matchup, looking at what these two guys bring into the ring stylistically, it was easy to see that Paulus Moses was not a guy that Ray Beltran was going to run over, and especially given Moses' style, it's a style that Beltran has had difficulty with. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know what Todd DeBuff and Arum were thinking and believing, if they believe that Beltran was just going to run over Moses and be able to fight fucking Loma and April.
I tell you what Moses did do. He fucked up their plans a little bit because he cut them on both eyes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So
but I mean,
I don't even know if Beltran will be ready to fight Lomachenko at the moment. Yeah.
The cuts were something that we, before the fight, we weren't like, Moses gonna cut the nigga. We weren't thinking that, but at the same time, we knew that this was a 12-round fight. You know what I'm saying?
And in a 12-round fight, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Well, Beltran has a history of getting cut.
Yeah. Kind of like Linares, right?
I don't know if it's quite as bad as Linares, but I mean, the track record is there.
I think it might be as bad because he used to get cut in sparring. Beltran.
Yeah, he did. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've seen him cut in the wild card.
Yeah.
Like Linares, man, the wind blows by and that motherfucker gets cut.
Question. Now I was thinking this. With him possibly fighting Lomachenko, Beltran, do you think it's nothing but Top Rank and Bob Arum doing what they usually do, feeding certain people to their top stars?
Absolutely. Look at the belt Beltran just won. Look at the belt Beltran just won. He won the WBO lightweight belt.
Yes and no. And the reason I say that is I agree 100% what 2K just said. But what I'm saying is they made a legitimate effort to make the Linares fight first.
Yeah, sure. They sure did.
That's why I say yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, that fell through for other reasons that has nothing to do with Top Rank.
A dick measuring contest. I called it just what it was in that article I did yesterday.
I hope you said it just like that.
I did say it just like that. I did.
That's great.
So let's move on to last night, man. Caleb Plant, man. Caleb Plant gave Porky Medina, man, kind of a boxing lesson. Even though I think Porky's done at this moment.
Easy work.
I've been feeling like that for a while, but Caleb Plant, man, he keeps showing some good boxing skills. The people aren't going to call for him, and he's not the most fan-friendly type of fighter to watch. You know what I mean? Because he just doesn't take the risk. But 2K, what do you think of him?
Yeah, man, just like we talked about on a Big Cool's hangout the other day, man. A good fighter, man. He's slick. He uses the jab pretty much to set up everything. He's not a big volume puncher, and he's more of a guy that's on the defensive, which is something that you can get used to seeing when you see guys fighting out of the Mayweather gym. Mm-hmm. They're more economical with their shots. They're not really going to be in there trying to bulldoze anybody and throwing high volume or displaying any type of high volume, high pressure type of style in the ring. So pretty much where he's coming from, or at least let me say this, he's a product of his environment. That's a better way to put it.
Right.
And you're absolutely right in what you say, Willie, and how the fans will not be calling for Caleb Plant as long as he still displays this particular type of style. And it is what it is. I'm not telling him to change. For me personally, I'm like, hey, you do what works best for you.
I like watching the style personally.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. As soon as you start to change, and I'll use Timothy Bradley as an example, that's when you start running into trouble.
Right.
So you do what works for you. And the most important thing is that he needs to keep winning. And what he did yesterday, he made Caleb Plant, Rogelio Medina, a guy who has been around the world pretty much. He's fought everybody. He's fought your James DeGales. You know what I'm saying? He's fought your Badu Jacks. You know, he's fought everybody within the 168 and 160-pound division. He made that guy look like an amateur.
I heard he fought Blow at work.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he actually he beat Jalen Love. You know what I'm saying? He was the guy to beat Jalen Love. You know, we all thought Jalen Love was a bum, and you know, Porky Medina came and made that shit true. You know what I'm saying?
He cleaned his spot.
Yeah, so he's been around the world, and a guy, ironically, from the same gym Jalen Love is from, made this guy look like an amateur. So he's well on his way, but like Willie said, it's going to be hard for him to get the popularity he deserves.
I totally agree. I totally agree with everything you just said. I like his quote, you know, play off the Mike Tyson. Everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the mouth. His is everybody's got a plan till they miss 40 punches.
Yep.
And he was actually called like the white Mayweather on Twitter and shit yesterday. But I mean, it's more so than anything. Well, you know, we all called it on Big Cool Show. His jab and movement that he used yesterday was perfect. And it's just what he needed to beat a guy like Medina. I mean, he's textbook for him as far as that goes. And it's going to take a guy that can really cut the ring off and not chase him like Medina did. Medina chased him. And then anticipate where he's going to be instead of feeling for it. You know what I mean? And he wasn't that guy, plain and simple.
Yeah, nah, he got the guy, you know, to come straight forward, man. There was no angles given whatsoever, so that just made the fight easy for him personally.
Medina did have a bad name.
Yeah, and Medina I think was a tad bit slow. He just didn't let his hands go like he normally does, because you know he throws like about 90 something punches per round.
Yeah.
He actually didn't throw. He didn't let his face.
He kept the jab right in his face and utilized his movement perfect. Just like Bo just said, when the jab's there all the time, it's hard to. Sometimes when the jab comes, step back, come in. You know what I mean? And he never did that with his knee like that. Is what Virgil Huntington was touching on. Maybe he couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't feel comfortable doing that.
Exactly.
We don't know. We don't know for sure. I don't want to like make it sound like an excuse, but it is what it is. It's over, it's done with. I figured it would go this way anyway. And Hunter, like, you know, people playing on his style, not wanting to see him. Hey, listen, like I kind of said during the telecast last night, that this is something that leads to a long career, a long successful career that you don't have to worry about stuttering when you're talking in your 50s.
I agree. And let me chime in real quick. One of the criticisms that I would give him is that if he's facing that particular style and Porky Medina, high pressure, high volume, the one thing that I would add that he should do, especially when he has the reach advantage like he did against Porky, he needs to start jabbing more to the body. That's one thing that I kept looking for. I didn't see that. If he would have jabbed Porky to the body, he actually would have stagnated him a hell of a lot more than he actually did in this fight.
He needs a better mixture of up and down.
Yeah.
You know, like use that jab up and down. Yeah. We got Bo Bland on the line, guys, from Truth and Facts About Boxing. He's on with us and shit. What's going on, Grandpapa?
Am I late?
Yeah, you've been late. You always late.
Oh, okay then. No, what have y'all covered so far? What have
we just covered Paulo Moses, Raimundo Beltran.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, but we're not going. Wait. Hold up. This is Eastwick Boxing Talk. We've covered.
That was a good victory for him. That's all I said was that was a good victory for him. Eastwick. You remember when you talk shit to Grandpa? Y'all gonna learn. No, I would just say that's a victory for him. That was a good victory. That's all.
But I wanted to ask you, Bo, about did you watch any of the fights last night?
Yes, I did.
Let's get into last night, man. Fuck it. Let's go right into last night. I was talking about I'm watching the Ortiz Alexander fight, right? I'm saying to myself, man, this is easy work and shit. And it was a good boxing. I thought Alexander boxed well, and then the scorecards came out, and then I remember we have a Mexican fighting in Texas, and if it looks anything close or similar, they're gonna find a way. Bro, what do you think of that? What do you think of that decision last night?
Okay, wait a minute. But you give that decision to that Mexican? Like, Victor
Hey.
Ortiz established a long time ago.
It's Texas
What
and he's
part of-
Mexican, bro. I'm telling you.
But what part
Yeah,
of Victor Ortiz?
He right about that. It's
Well,
Texas and he Mexican.
It's not necessarily just Texas. It's places in Texas that are predominantly Latino or Latina. That's
El Paso
where
is.
the fight was in El Paso, which is only 25 minutes away from Juarez, Mexico. And then of course you got San Antonio where, you know, Pernell Whitaker was robbed, you know, against Chavez Sr. So
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Whitaker versus Chavez like 9-3, 10-2 and shit, and like you know how that turned out. So,
yep.
Well, shit, that's how you could have called that fight last night. 9-3 or 10-2.
oh
You
shit.
know?
I had it.
The thing about Texas, outside of the fact motherfuckers from Texas are slew-footed, but they also give bad decisions as well. So, you know,
Yeah, man.
Well, I think that's pretty much the only thing that we can really work off of, man. I mean, and it may to the listeners out there that may seem like an excuse, but I mean, there's really nothing more to see here, nothing we can say because I mean, everybody on this panel had Devin Alexander winning easily, and others. I mean, I was watching a video of a Mexican guy who posted a recording of his TV. This is how I actually got to see the video. Shout out to my man Samuel for making that post. And I watched the fight off of his post. And at the end of the fight, even he was pissed off. He was cursing in Spanish and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, this is the only thing we can work off of. He clearly lost this fight.
Yeah, I mean, shit, man. I don't even want to.
you know, it's almost like people don't want Victor Ortiz to go away.
Yeah,
It's just ridiculous.
yeah.
Like, here's a guy taking the spot that somebody else can have because he really don't want to fight and he's not that good anymore. Like, what the fuck? He shows up 1 to 2 years to fight.
Well, we're gonna go from because this time I don't even know what we could say about that fight last night, man. 'Cause, like, I don't know, man. Let's go right into David Benavidez, man. He gave Jabril the rematch, an immediate rematch, which you don't see a lot of young fighters do anymore. He could have kept it moving. He said he was sick the first fight leading up to that fight week. So last night, man, he put on a dominant performance, man. He went and pretty much dominated the entire fight.
Yep.
What you think, man?
I think he did what he had to do.
Right?
Right, exactly what he had to do. I mean, he done what he was supposed to do in the first fight, this fight, but I think he did what he had to do this time. We all talked about it. If he stutters the least little bit in this fight right here, he falls back in the eyes of the boxing public. You see what I'm saying? After making such a good impression with the way he beat Medina, the way he won the title, you know, and so on and so forth, to get to the title anyway, not to win it.
Yeah.
He maybe he was sick. I don't know. You know, I've touched on it several times leading up to this. That he legitimately says he had the flu, he was running fever 103 the day of the weigh-in.
Oh, well.
You know.
Means that I actually just went through that. Let me tell you guys, you don't want to do shit, man, because every fucking joint in your body hurts, man.
So he may not even had to cut.
Man.
He may not even had to cut weight. He may have just been that weight because he was sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
Yeah, like
but he looked pretty good last night. You know what I've seen in the fight. I didn't see it all, but what the little bit I've seen, I had a little family emergency like situation come up last night. I ended up driving to Atlanta. You get home about 3 o'clock this morning, but still.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. Bernard, you there?
He on mute.
Yeah, I noticed.
My fault, fellas. I didn't see. That's the fight I didn't see, but I did catch the highlights of him.
Well, what did the highlights tell you? compared to the first fight? You saw you know about the first fight, so
you talking about the first fight with Medina and Plant?
No, he's talking about this is a rematch between Benavidez and Gabriel. He's talking about in comparison to the first fight.
Oh yeah, he outboxed him. I'm not gonna say outboxed him like that, but there are still some flaws that he had from the previous fight that he's still showing. But he did what he had to do to get the win though. So it's kind of like he picked up from where he left off.
2K?
Yeah, I agree. I think he really did have a flu.
Yeah.
I was making subtle updates for C early in this fight, and in the beginning I said, yeah, I mean he looks the same. It's the same old Benavidez, but the difference was, and it became more apparent later on in the fight, was his accuracy, man. I mean that he's very smart with how he places his punches, man. I mean, I can tell you one particular exchange. He was standing there and he was waiting on Gavril to throw the left, which he did. He stepped in and threw the left, and while he threw that, he already had a counter left uppercut already ready and landed on Gavril's chin, and then he followed up with a right hook. Beautiful sequence. Yeah, and it was accurate as fuck. That's what was so amazing. So he's a great. Let me take great off of there. He's a very good fighter. He's only 21 years old. There's a whole lot he could still learn. So his potential means that he could definitely be an A+ fighter, and probably if he could beat a guy like Zurdo, and at this point in time, I favor Zurdo just because Ramirez stands right directly in front of you. Doesn't really move much, but he's a boxer. That's going to play in Zurdo's favor because Zurdo used the whole motherfucking ring, and he does everything behind his jab, as does Benavidez, but the movement is just so much different. For me, if you're a boxer, you need to be able to move. You got to be able to use the ring, got to be able to use the lateral movement. You can't just move backwards, and you can't just stay in the pocket. So, but the fact that he's only 21, and let's say he waits to fight Zurdo until he's like 25, 26, man, he could learn so much in that time to become an A+ fighter that he can be virtually unbeatable, man.
Yeah. You know what I noticed, man, in the third round, because you were just talking about how accurate of a puncher he was last night. In the third round, he landed 19 power punches. Not jabs, power punches.
Yeah, man, that's ridiculous.
And then he hit him with an uppercut in the fourth round to stagger the guy halfway across the ring and shit. So he did what he was supposed to do. The first fight,
he needed that performance.
Yes, he needed that performance. I think mentally he did need that. But what were your thoughts on it?
I think he needed that performance, given the fact that we just saw what Caleb Plant did to Porky Medina, and Caleb Plant is one of the guys that been mentioned as fighting him. So he needed a dominating performance. He needed a performance where he reminded us of that. He's that guy that we talk about when you talk about the sparring sessions and the massive potential that he had. So he definitely needed that. He needed to erase that memory that we saw, because like we was talking on, I think it was your channel, we was saying how, man, if he gets another split decision, we're going to start going back to examining his resume extra close. So, so definitely when you got, like you said, Ramirez had a great performance here recently. Jesse Hart even had a great performance. So Caleb Plant had a great performance. So you don't want to be looking like Keith Thurman. You don't want to be looking like food. So he needs that performance so cats ain't looking at him like food.
Yeah.
As long as Caleb Truex is on the buffet, nobody's looking at Benavidez like that.
Hell, Caleb Truex.
That's true.
Man,
wait a minute. I don't want that pig. No, fuck this round. Give me that steak down there.
Yeah.
Hey, Caleb Truex all of a sudden has choices in opponents and shit. Go figure, right?
Well, that dude is the featured entree. When you walk to a restaurant and they say today's featured entree, that motherfucker Caleb Truex is on the motherfucking marquee. Straight.
Yeah.
Let's move. Let's stay right in the same division, man. Real quick. Last night, man. Let's talk about Eubank Jr. versus George Groves, man. 2K. Have you gotten to see the fight yet or not?
Yeah, I've seen enough. I've seen enough that I need to see. I've seen about 7 rounds. and that's including
Okay.
the 12th round that I saw live. And it pretty much just falls in line what I've been saying for years now, since Chris Eubank lost to Billy Ho Sanders. My bad. Let me say Billy Joe. He got his name back. Billy Joe Sanders. And that is that Chris Eubank Jr. is he looks great in the gym. He's a gym rat, excellent athleticism, but he cannot translate that into the ring. I've been saying it for too goddamn long now, and finally I've been vindicated. You know what I'm saying?
I think you know how we give fighters levels and shit, like A class, B class. I'm still trying to figure out what class he falls in.
I mean,
he might be like a E class and shit. I don't know.
I still put him as a C plus B minus level fighter, because I think he can still beat the C and D level fighters out there at 168 and 160 if he decides to go down. But he can't beat any of the B plus to A level fighters. It just won't happen. You know what I'm saying? And George Groves is another guy that's on the same level as he is. They're both B minus in my opinion. But George Groves actually showed that he's probably like at a better subcategory. You know what I'm saying? than Eubank Jr. is. And I mean, and it all plays into the fact that the kid was just overhyped, man. Like, you can't look at who he fought after Billy Joe, and say, well, yeah, he could beat Gennady Golovkin, or he can move up to 168 and win a fucking tournament against, guys that have already established themselves. While, we all thought that was possible because, hey, George Groves is not the greatest fighter out there either. Just watching this fight just pretty much just helped us to better, or let me put it this way, helped other people to better understand where we were coming from with our initial assessment of Eubank Jr.
Yeah. But no,
Totally agree.
Yeah, I saw the fight yesterday, that Eubank fight, but I want to pick back on the last show we did yesterday with Big Cool Show. Go check it out on YouTube at colossalboxing.com. I mean, not .com. On the YouTube. With the way how everything came out last night with Caleb Plant and Benavidez, what do y'all think about the division? I know y'all still think it's shit. I do too. Do you think there's some kind of improvements with the
I just
fighters
don't
like
think
Zerto?
I don't think the division has any elite level fighters.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
Is there potential though to be for some elite fighters like Plant possibly to become one? Benavidez, Zerto.
You got to fight each other for us to find out, but yeah, the potential is there.
Benavidez has the potential.
Yeah.
Benavidez has the potential. He's 21 years old, extremely seasoned for 21 years old, and only 10 amateur fights.
I think this
is a guy that's been in the. He has sparred over 250 rounds with Gennady Golovkin.
Damn.
All right. So
Kelly Pavlik.
He's got some. Kelly Pavlik, these guys right here. I mean, he's been in there with some pretty good fighters. So, yeah, he's got the potential. He's extremely seasoned at 21 years old. He's got the potential to be elite. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
as far as go ahead.
Man, that was the worst shit I've ever had to see in my life. That shit was ugly to watch. I'm sorry, that shit was ugly to watch, man. There's no way to put it.
Hey, bro,
like.
I would say the same shit, fam. Go ahead.
Dude,
I think we all agree on that.
Know what? When I watched that fight, do you know what came to mind? Chavez Jr. I said, these two motherfuckers are the same. Neither one of these motherfuckers.
I just insulted the fuck out of Chavez Jr.
I mean, Chavez Jr. is more skilled.
You just insulted the fuck out of him.
No, hold on. Wait a minute. The only difference is Chavez Jr. Don't ever look as amateurish. But I'm talking about just as far as they're not like their fathers. And then on top of that, like, it was just the worst shit I've ever seen, man. I mean, he made George Groves look like an elite level fighter. That shit happened.
I thought it was a sloppy, ugly fight. That's probably the only fight that George Groves could have won. So he had probably fought that way. I wasn't impressed with him either.
Well, not just him, his
man.
corner. I wasn't impressed with the whole Eubanks team. His corner, the corner man, his dad, the instructions.
What corner?
The instructions.
What corner?
You know what? There were people on social media, and these were people from UK saying how Eubanks need to fucking retire. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, man.
And they were saying that.
My med said that shit.
Yeah, he did, and I agree with him. Like, you didn't fought two. Like, okay, you fought Billy Joe Saunders, and at that time we didn't know if Billy Joe Saunders was elite level or not. But you fought Billy Joe and you lost, and then you fought George Groves and you lost. And the only reason why you picked up a belt is because you campaigned for an IBF title that's really not exactly a belt. It's not recognized as a governing body yet. So you didn't fought two maybe B- level fighters and one who may be a high B fighter, and you just got schooled. So no, you're not that, and I agree with him.
Right.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was pitiful, man. Watching that was pitiful, and I made the comment yesterday during the fight that I have literally seen amateurs put on a lot better display of skill. Now, we said before the fight that jab and movement can beat Eubank.
Yeah.
All right. We said that. We just didn't know if Groves was going to go back to that because he's allowed himself to get into slipping. As long as you don't allow Chris Eubank Jr. to plant his feet and throw combinations, you're fine. You'll beat him all day long.
Yeah,
One
the
guy can't. One
the
guy had
question
a
was,
game plan.
you like we knew the game plan. I think the only thing we ever questioned was the fact can Groves maintain that for 12 rounds?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that leads you to think that maybe Junior could pull something off late. You know what I'm saying? But he just looked like a fucking amateur, man. Like below an amateur. Like he looked like a kid taking his first class of boxing and shit.
Well, I mean, like I said, man, I said on Big Cool's podcast or Hangout, he's always looked like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude,
I didn't get to see the fight live, and you guys are giving me updates. But the updates you guys are giving me, and other people were giving me, I was like, oh yeah, this is vintage Eubank Jr. for what I'm hearing. I mean, the guy, Nick Blackwell, Gary O'Sullivan, Ronald Quinlan, Anvi Yildirim, Arthur Abraham, those guys are not going to put this guy at an elite level. You know what I'm saying? Tony Jeter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, is that Derek Jeter's brother? Nigga, get the fuck out of here. That's not going to put him on the elite level. You see what I'm saying? So he hasn't learned anything from the loss.
I gotta steal a quote from a man 2K. This motherfucker is a dude that looks good in the gym but doesn't translate in the ring.
Yeah.
Gabriel Rosado is another cat that's like that. Looks good in the gym, just don't translate.
You're really good at stealing our quotes, aren't you?
Goddamn right.
As long as that motherfucker credited, I'm good. As long as he credited.
So let me who wins this tournament? Just a real quick name. Throw it out there. 2K.
Oh damn! Well, you had to come to me first, man.
Yeah, because fuck, you ain't have your eggs today. I try to catch you off guard.
Without trying to be long-winded, man, I'm gonna say it's a toss-up, man. I think Callum Smith can win it. I'm gonna lean towards Callum Smith, literally 51 to 49% over George Groves, and that's assuming Callum Smith beats Jürgen Brähmer, right?
Right.
But my only problem, and I've told you guys this plenty of times, is how he looked against Eric Skoglund. I mean, he looked very vulnerable in that fight, vulnerable enough. Yeah, for me to believe that the George Groves we just saw beat Eubank Jr. could beat Callum Smith. So really how Smith looks against Brähmer is going to determine my pick. But right now I roll with Callum Smith slightly.
Chris?
Ditto.
Benoit?
Smith.
And Grandpa?
Man, yeah, I slightly Callum Smith if he gets past Jürgen Brähmer.
All right. Let's get to my favorite topic then. Fuck that. I've been dying to talk about this shit, right? Because all of a sudden everybody want to pop up. They want to, all these welterweights, they're all of a sudden going, yo, you gonna fight me? Motherfuckers jumping in the ring, barking and shit. How come I didn't see this shit at the Barclays the other month?
Hey, Willie, who was fighting there? What was the kid's name? Like Span or Sprin? What was his name?
Oh, Spence.
Yes, Spence. There it is.
I think Errol Spence. Errol Jr.
Yeah,
That's his name. Yeah.
ESJ, no,
The truth.
my bad. ESR, I think that what's his initial? DSJ, no, my bad. Shit. ESR, is that his initials?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
you don't want
Oh
that
no.
now.
So
But
Garcia beat Brandon Rios by TKO. That was suspected. Afterwards, what's his name jumps in the ring, right? Well, he they talk about Keith Thurman, and all of a sudden Keith Thurman is talking like, yeah, bring it, right? So completely different Keith Thurman than what we've been seeing when he comes to Errol Spence, right? Then Sean Porter jumps in the ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and once Garcia, and now they all three of them, and then Porter and Thurman get into a little something backstage. So now everybody wants everybody. But no, man, what do you make of all that shit, fam?
They want to do like a little Red Roberts between them three. Nobody wants Spence. Let's be honest. Now, let's say, give credit, Porter has been calling out Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia has said shit. So it takes Porter for him to get. It takes for Porter to get in the ring, and for Danny to actually say, "Hey, yeah, I want to fight you now," which I call that some bullshit as well. So
He just looked so fake from Porter, what he did.
Um,
I think he's not that guy.
hold
here's
on.
the thing, though. He's been doing it. He did the little video where he was around Halloween or whatever, acting like Macho Man Randy Savage. Talking
Yeah.
about, "Oh, I want you, Danny Garcia." So, but Danny never responded.
Oh, I wouldn't
So
respond to no
what else you
bullshit
gonna
like
do?
that either.
So what else you gonna do though? What else
I'm
you gonna
saying,
do? If you want to fight this person,
I'm saying you could have took your ass to the Barclay and called out the IBF champ instead of calling a contender.
yo,
Well, basically, I agree.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, he can't do that shit, man. Like motherfuckers ask him about Spence, and he's like, "Oh man, nah, man. You know, he's not my goal. You know, my goal is this guy or that guy. You know." And then when that other guy fights, all of these guys are top fighters in the division, by the way. Then when another guy fights, he hops in the ring, tries to get him and get into a fight with him. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Now,
Yeah,
here's
he
my
was
thing.
at the Barclays,
Here's
by
my-
the way.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was. So he's clearly ducking. That's what that's called.
Yo,
Clear duck.
okay.
Let me say something real quick. Here's my thing. I thought Porter's goal really was to get that fight with Thurman.
Exactly.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Well, they had
But now you
interviews
switching, so you
together.
want to go to Danny Garcia now?
Yep.
But he
Well, no,
confronted
they-
Thurman yesterday too. It's on one of the channels. I don't remember where it's at, but he did.
Okay.
As far as Spence goes, I think he conveniently had his name removed from the IBF rankings, so that wouldn't come up no more. How is he not ranked by the IBF? I mean,
But
he don't hold another belt.
When he lost to when he first lost to Brook, they took him out the top 10 ranking, or just right away.
He might have petitioned for that shit. Like, yeah, that kid.
Yeah, he's
I
seen
don't want
Spence.
no
He's
part
like,
of.
nah, they may mandate an eliminator with him, man. Let me get the fuck out of here.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I don't know. Spence said it best, man, when he tweeted it yesterday. Man, these dudes are so lame.
You know what? I was just going to make a point, Chris, and you kind of stole it. And I was just going to say Spence was there, and here's the reality, and this is something everybody can relate to, right? You ever be walking and you see a person with a bunch of dogs, and you see that one dog on the porch, and all the motherfucking dogs are playing in the yard? And the reality is that one dog on the porch, he ain't got to bark. He ain't got to make no noise. He ain't got to let you know he there. Why? Because he don't have to prove to you he's a dog. He knows that. And what you saw last night was a bunch of motherfuckers trying to convince each other that they're the top dog when the real top dog just put out a tweet like, look at these fake ass niggas. And that's exactly what the fuck happened last night. That's what we saw. Spence was there. He didn't jump in the ring. He didn't want it to be known. He was just, he just, hey, man, I'm an IBF champion. I don't have to prove shit to none of y'all. Y'all motherfuckers pretty much have already made it known you don't want to fight me. So, he just a different dude. And that's what we saw.
I don't even think Spence even had the thought process of, hey, I'm an IBF champion. Spence is like, look at all the memes and shit that's put out there. Look at all these motherfuckers talking about how, this guy's ducking me, that guy's ducking me. He understands that people know that motherfuckers are not trying to see him in the ring anytime soon. And so he's already just sitting there like, well, shit, I'm the most duck motherfucker in the division, so I don't need to do nothing.
I guarantee you, if Spence
He's
would
the
have
most
walked toward
duck
that ring,
motherfucker in boxing.
I guarantee you, if Spence would have walked toward that ring would have cleared like roaches when you turn the light on.
Hey, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. And tell Ugas to slow his road too.
Hey, fuck it, make the fight.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's
He
all.
the only
Yeah,
one- he
exactly.
the only one that-
Take that shit.
Yeah, he the only one that won it. Make the fight. Shit, I haven't even seen Ocampos say anything yet.
Nah, I don't think he's taking it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it don't look like he's gonna take it. They hadn't said nothing to me about it. And I'm like, the fucking IBF mandated it. What do you mean they ain't said nothing to you about it? Are you joking me?
Yeah.
Right, yo.
Errol Spence should make a movie called The Lonely Kid, like that meme.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit. Yo, I wouldn't be surprised if Ocampo was like telling his management team, yo, man, make sure Spence knows about that tweet by Ugas.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, we did an article on this right after, and Ocampo, like 2 weeks after the mandate, goes, I don't know, I hadn't heard nothing about it. I'm like, you got to be motherfucking kidding me.
He's lying like a motherfucker, man. He knows.
They ain't heard nothing about it. The motherfucker got the same fucking email I did.
No
Yeah.
shit. No
He's
shit.
lying, bro. He's lying.
So what? So my question is, right? I'm just saying, like, you fighting in under the IBF sanctioning body. For that belt, you know who the champion is, and you mean to sit there tell me you didn't get nothing?
Well, Bernard, this is the thing though. A lot of those fighters, and I can't remember the kid's name from Detroit that we interviewed on the old podcast we used to have. But remember, he was talking about how he doesn't pay attention to the rankings. Hell, he doesn't even pay attention to fighters in his division. A lot of fighters do that. They'll be fighting and shit, and they won't even know where they're ranked. They learn that shit from the media. You know what I'm saying? So that could be the situation with Ocampos. But they do. The IBF doesn't mandate shit without letting the fighters know prior.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah. Plus,
they'll let the fighters know, then the media will get the email.
Plus,
Exactly.
there's been fighters that have turned down to the opportunity to put themselves to challenge Errol Spence. Even when he fought Bandu, it was an eliminator fight. I believe the first four guys that were ranked turned that fight. 3 guys that were ranked turned that fight down, and Bandu, who I believe was ranked 5th at the time, took it. So this is like, I thought that he would have an easier time once he had a belt finding opponents, because after all, fighters fight to become champion, don't they?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So the fact that it's not translating, it's like, God damn, man. Like, this guy might have to go to 175 and shit just to get an opponent and shit. Like, I'm gonna go up 5 weight classes and shit.
Yep.
Well, also, you know, another reality is the IBF ranking system. Although they are good with you fighting your mandatory, their ranking system is some bullshit. Because Garcia, Porter, none of them dudes is even in a ranking system. So,
well, Garcia didn't fight 4 years, so he shouldn't be. And he was a WBC champion, so technically, when you're a champion, not ranked.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, if you look at their ranking system, like,
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
you gotta understand though, Garcia didn't fight.
Bro,
Well,
all the ranking
Garcia-
systems are fucked up.
Yeah,
That's true.
I mean, to be honest with you, Garcia fought and lost to Thurman, took a year off, and came back and fought Brandon Rios in the eliminator. That's bullshit.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
They did the same thing with him. How he even got his WBC title. He moved up and immediately got a title shot for the vacant WBC title against Robert Guerrero. So
Yeah.
I mean, he always gets these shots. I don't understand it, man. But
It is what it is, man.
Yep.
So let's recap it real quick. Last night, so all the welterweights are scared of Errol Spence, and that shit last night did it. From my point of view, looked like fake tough. Do you guys agree?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, for fucking, let's close it out, man. Let's start with Bernard, man. Why don't you tell the fans where they can find you, fam?
Man, you can find me on here on Eastwood Boxing. You can find me on Truth and Facts About Boxing. You can find me wherever on Facebook under 3 Kings, boxing.com in the comment section talking boxing. as well as a whole bunch of Facebook boxing groups, Eastwick Boxing, just a whole bunch of them. There's too many to name. And check out the article that I wrote, Deontay Wilder on the Three Kings, assessing his popularity. Is Racing Issue Part 1. Part 2 will be dropping soon.
Well,
Yeah, you can find me on Truth and Facts About Boxing.
wait, hold up, motherfucker. Stop trying to sound like Barry White.
Man, I swear, Bo be trying to get ass off our shows, man. He be doing that shit. Like, I know 2K got a large female fan base, and let me go ahead and lower my voice a little bit like this. Fuck out of here, nigga.
That's them Dallas, Texas niggas. They always hating on us Midwest motherfuckers. 'Cause we are the inventors of the slow jam. They just don't like that shit. I don't understand. So you can find me right here at Truth and Facts About Boxing, the Elder Statesman. Also, you can find me right here on Eastwick. Shout out to everybody as part of the movement. Shout out to my family that's right here, my sons that come up underneath my wings. And go to threekingsboxing.com, where you can read all the latest and greatest updates article that pertains to boxing. And shout out to all the white people that listen to us because of Chris Henderson. We appreciate y'all too.
Fucking love it.
That's
I fucking
great.
love it.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris, you're next, man.
Gotta be.
Hey,
All right.
hey, wait,
For all
wait.
the fake Cubans that
Do
listen.
it right. Do it right. Do it right.
Oh, wait a minute. That's just Bo. Never mind. I can't go there. Hey, man, you check me out on that dang old movement, man. I'll be in and out on these shows, you know, doing what I can. And, man, you can find me at Four Corners Box and talk on Blog Talk Radio with Willie the Kid. And, man, I dang always writing something on threekingsboxing.com. And that's over at www.threekingsboxing.com. And yeah, guys, you know where to find me. Any of these channels, any of these guys' channels that's already been mentioned.
That's right.
Blog Talk Radio, Four Corners Boxing Talk Show with me and Willie the Kid. Also
That's
find me on threekingsboxing.com. You can find me on Twitter at Boxing Boomhauer. It's on Twitter and Instagram.
2K.
All right.
Oh man, that shit was funny as fuck, man. Y'all are funny as hell. Of course, you can find me on Project Boxing Talk. I'm probably gonna be dropping some videos tonight on a whole slew of different things that need to be said. I see a lot of motherfuckers is getting away with a lot of shit, so that's because I ain't said nothing. So evidently, I'm gonna have to start talking again. So shout out to everybody that's involved in the movement. You know what I'm saying? Big Cool, Bo. You know, you got my man C-Bone over there. My man Willie the Kid on this channel. Bernard. My man Blake. Samuel. Shad. Everybody involved. Malachi. Everybody involved, man. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate the listeners in the chat who've chimed in. My man CMD. My man Eric. Appreciate you guys. Just keep following the movement, man. We're going to keep bringing you good content.
Yeah, that's right, man. I'm Willie the Kid, man. This is Sunday's Boxing Trainer. It's something that we're going to try to do throughout all of our channels. Look for us, man. We'll be coming next Sunday after Superfly. So we don't think that's going to be on YouTube format, but we'll make sure we'll let you guys know sometime during the week. All right, this is your boy Willie the Kid. This is Eastwick Boxing Talk 1.